Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to tomorrow's weather today. Today, I'm here to talk about the severe weather risk for. I'm basically just going to be talking about the panhandle of Texas and um, much of Oklahoma today, as there is a slight risk for severe storms. Um, right now, there is a 5% chance for tornadoes in a small portion of Oklahoma, a 15% chance for damaging winds in Oklahoma and parts of Texas, and a 15% chance with significant severe in Oklahoma and a little bit of Texas. Looking at the satellite image, right now we can see some storms being fired in the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. Two lines of them right there with our low pressure system uh, back there with some clearing out ahead of these storms, allowing for instability to grow at this very point in time, with some cumulus starting to form out in front, which is a sign of rising air. Looking at our surface observations for Texas and Oklahoma, we can see some 50s with 50-degree dew points as well. Our low pressure system is in here, as we have southerly winds here, northerly wind here, and westerly wind here. It's looking like maybe a dry line in here. I'm seeing a dry line in somewhere in here possibly, and a cold front extending upwards from there like that. And that's why we are in this area. We are watching this chance for severe storms. Now, looking at the RAP model first, looking at our surface-based CAPE, we can see right now that we have upwards of 1,500 joules per kilogram. Moving into Oklahoma. And if we take this ahead 2 hours, we can see storms firing in the northern Texas panhandle with 2,000 CAPE ahead of it. And and in 4 hours, we can see uh, a large supercell in Texas, right where that blob of 2,000 CAPE is. I can't really move. I will circle it for you. It is going to be in this area right there. That supercell right there. Um, that is a supercell right there according to the RAP model, and it's looking like a damaging storm. Looking at our supercell composite, we're seeing upwards of 6 to 8 in areas of Oklahoma tonight. And looking at our DHRRR model, I will move this back to initialization. Looking at our forecast loop, this is 1 hour from now. Actually, this is 12Z, this is much earlier. Let's take this past model run. You can see storms going up in Texas and some big time storms going up in Oklahoma by 22Z this afternoon. These probably will be at least hail producers and wind, possibly tornadoes, especially with this one and this one. Just by the look of things. Looking at our surface-based CAPE, you can see right now upwards of 1,500 in Texas and Oklahoma, getting up to 2,500 in spots. We can see our front right in here and there. Ample instability in a small area for storms to be fired. Looking at our lapse rates, looking pretty good with upwards of 6.5 to 8 in areas which is good instability, which allows for much instability to form. Looking at our supercell composite, getting up to 13 in areas. Let's take a sounding in here really quickly. Tornado sounding here. We got ample shear up into the 180s for surface to 1 and surface, and 190 into surface 3 kilometer helicity. We have southeasterly winds at the surface and turning to be more southwesterly just above the surface. 8.4 kilometers, 8.4 degrees Celsius per kilometer lapse rate between surface and 3. Very nice lapse rates here. The LCL here, our cloud base is here, but our convection is really going to start forming up there at the LFC, the level of free convection. ample instability in here. This is our moist adiabatic lapse rate, about 6 um, degrees Celsius per kilometer. So we do have a conditionally unstable environment, which allows for thunderstorms to form in that area. So taking a look at our convection again, our reflectivity, we can see by early or late tonight, probably around midnight or so, the storms do move out, and some storms refire in the Texas area. Down here, if I just take a sounding, I don't think these are really going to be tornado producers, but more of a wind threat, even though this does say tornadoes. I don't think this is, there's a lot of shear, but the Cape doesn't look very good. Just based on the wind profiles, I do think that this will be more of a wind and hail threat. Let's go to our upper level winds. Let's look at our low level jet for today at 850 millibars. We can see that the jet right in here looking pretty impressive, upwards of 50 knots. To 30 to 45 knots, looking pretty good with our low up there. We can see there's a lot of upper level divergence, which allows for strengthening low pressure system in there. Here's our upper level low, and that will be moving with its associated jet of 60-ish knots upwards to 70 in places. Looking at our dew points and wind barbs, we can see dew points getting up into the 60s, which is plentiful for storms to fire and for tornadoes. It's looking like maybe a dry line there, and upwards from there, a cold front right there with the low pressure system up in Colorado. There's enough backing of the winds here to allow for more stretching of the hodographs. If we go back to there, that was 22Z. Let's take a sounding right there with a 62-degree dew point. As you can see, we have a lot of turning of the winds with height. We can see that here as well. Again, ample instability around 11 to 1200, which is enough for severe weather, and a lot of turning with the winds with that SRH. Lapse rates look pretty good. Just trying to look. Yeah, lapse rates are pretty decent in this area. And if we go over to the Weather Prediction Center, let's look at the surface analysis. Just like I said, here is the dry line right in here. There's the low pressure system, the cold front extending in. It looks like there's a warm front out ahead of it as well. Behind it, snow for the Colorado Rockies. By tonight, 0Z, which is about 6 p.m. I believe out here. We can see our dry line moving into Texas with our associated warm front and cold front. This is where we're going to be focusing for storms along that triple point there. Going back to the mesoscale analysis, mid-level, or let's look at low-level lapse rates. Yeah, low-level lapse rates are definitely enough for severe weather, upwards of 6 to 7 degrees Celsius per kilometer. A severe thunderstorm watch. All right, let's look at this. Come on. So 24 minutes ago, severe thunderstorm watch was issued for this area of Oklahoma. Looking like the largest threat is hail, with a moderate chance of 2+ inches hail as well. Moderate chance for severe wind, and a low chance for tornadoes, even though the chance is out there. The probabilities there's already a line of storms going here. You can see that right in here. These will be our storms to be watching in this area for the tornadic development. Looking at our downdraft cape, not that high, so it is, and with the shear, the SRH upwards of 300, that allows, so here's our updraft here. This updraft is going to be tilted, and then the downdraft will be here, which allows this to be rain free, and then the rain to be over here, which allows this to continue to rise without ingesting cool air, and a tornado could be able to drop. So that's looking very likely, in my opinion, that there will be at least a tornado or two today, especially in this area. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a new video, and I will see you all tomorrow.